What is happening at the high school?
Somebody's shooting at her school.
Chaos at Central High School in Phoenix. More than 1,000 students and staff running for their lives following reports of an active shooter on campus.
Everybody was just running. Everybody was running, and then somebody pulled out a gun.
My daughter just followed me from under a desk.
That scary sight unfolding last September, reigniting the conversation about school resource officers in one of the country's largest high school districts.
We should not feel this way at school, at work.
The police in Phoenix have a history of violence and abuse against our youngsters, our children.
Having SROs on campuses will keep our students safer.
Phoenix Union District cannot afford to place more cops in schools. There were cops present at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas actively during the shooting.
It's notable because following student protests and petitions back in 2020, the Phoenix Union High School District pulled out SROs, a move the district says saved them $1 million.
Do you think police officers should be in schools?
I think it's a very valuable tool. If we can be in school, develop those relationships early.
The presence of officers on campus was once controversial in many districts. But with the number of school shootings on the rise across America, there is growing support for their return.
It allows us to have an immediate response to a problem and, sometimes stop it before it even starts.
Back in May, the Arizona Department of Education approved $100 million to increase the number of SROs from 190 to 301. We reached out to all 58 school districts here in Maricopa County. Of the 26 that responded, only 15 of them have SROs. Another 3 tell us that they applied and were approved for SROs, but neither the Phoenix Police Department or the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office had staff to fill them.
What do you think needs to be done to address that?
We're working very hard on that. I want to solve that problem right away.
Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Horn brought together the School Safety Task Force last month, charging them with developing solutions. One of them would create a separate certification for SROs. Right now, they have to be police officers. The change would mean retired officers, security guards, and veterans could act as SROs.
The military, former members of the military or veterans have very different training than for a school environment.
Right.
How do you go about bridging that gap?
You give them training, specialized training.
Horn appointed this man, Michael Kurtenbach, a retired assistant chief with Phoenix Police, as a director of school safety to oversee the task force.
Do you see those security guards being armed?
Personally, I do not. I want him or her to be very focused on a singular threat or threats and not have new guns, additional guns that are introduced to that scenario.
But not all task force members agree with the idea.
Let's go ahead and carve out a new path. Let's utilize those things that are working today.
Gerald Richard, a pastor, public defender, and longtime community advocate, points out this funding is only in place for 3 years. He's seen money like this come and go. That's why he's urging the state to spend it in a more sustainable way.
That we move towards technology as far as protecting our schools.
He says something like AI, which the Tullison Union High School District hopes to roll out next year, can help possibly ID dangerous situations before they happen.
The motion passes. We have 6.
At Phoenix Union, they approved 6 SROs to cover their 24 schools and more than 28,000 students. But Kurtenbach says the regional approach has its drawbacks.
You can get to a point where there's diminishing returns. You don't want to have a single officer cover too many schools.